Here's a look at the dock. I'm going to be showing you guys how you can build in this video. Follow along for all the steps. Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you guys how you can build your own floating dock any size you want. I've got dock floats behind me here. These floats are from Dock Edge. All the material is from Dock Edge. I also have a ladder and I have all the hardware to help assemble the dock. So I'm going to walk you guys through the process. These are the dock floats. Like I said, they are from Dock Edge. Each float is rated for 400 pounds and these floats are 2 foot by exactly 4 foot. So it makes framing up your docks really easy. So I've got this deck frame laid out. The deck I'm building is 10 foot wide by 16 foot long. So we're using all 2x6 material here, 16 footers and 10s. And then I've laid it out so we have 24-inch spacing here. 24-inch spacing is going to give us the proper spacing to screw our floats up from the bottom. When you're building a deck, you always need to crown your lumber. So take it, look down, and you're looking for a hump. You want the hump to be facing up because over time, gravity will sag it back down. So we're gonna have that crown facing up, do that to all of our boards, and then we'll start screwing this together and then attach the fasteners. This is where we are on the dock. As you can see, I've got it all screwed together. All the joists are on. So the way that they recommend to do this is to just screw them in because we are going to install hardware which is going to hold everything together. So as you can see, that's a corner bracket and this is all the framing. So my joists are 2 feet apart. This small little one is just so we can make a border with deck boards. So that one is not needed. This joist right here. Otherwise you would just put them 24 inches apart and then your float can fit right on there. Next, we need to square this up. So since it's a rectangle, the term square doesn't really apply, but all that means is we have 90-degree corners. So as you can see, we need this corner to be perfectly 90 degrees. The easiest way to do that is with a tape measure, and you'll need a helper. We're gonna go corner to corner and get a measurement here. So this measurement is 29 and 1/16. Now we're going to do the opposite corners and we want the exact same measurement. So we have the same measurement, 29 and 1/16 here. If your measurements were different, you need to adjust this until they are the same. So I already did that, which is why it was bang on. But when you frame something up, it's never perfectly square and you'll have to square it up. Now that we've got this squared up, I forgot to mention, you need to put some bracing on so that it stays where you want it. So we've got some scrap material here. We're putting on diagonals, and this is just going to hold it to prevent it from going out of square. You can use any material for this, and we're just using screws, screwing down, which is going to keep it where we want it. Now that we have this entire thing framed up, we have it squared up, we can start attaching our hardware. So I've shown this corner bracket. This is going to go on the outside, one on each of the 4 corners. And then every time you put a bracket on, there's a backer plate. So this backer plate lines up with the holes, and basically it acts like a washer to spread out the load when you put your carriage bolts on. So we have kits here with carriage bolts. The carriage bolts go through, they lock into the bracket, and then you put a washer and lock nut. You put a lock nut and nut on the back side. So those are the brackets for the 4 corners, and then the joists, they all get a smaller bracket, which goes on the side here. And again, there is a backer plate for these that go on there, and we put carriage bolts through them. So I'm gonna put all this hardware on, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like once all the hardware is on. Getting ready to mount some of the hardware. So all of the joists get one of these corner brackets here, and I'm going to show you guys how I like to do this. So take a pencil, and we're just going to hold this on by hand, and I'm going to trace out the holes so that I can drill them out. So I'm just tracing these out with the pencil. So I've got them traced out. Now we're going to be using carriage bolts that are 1/2 inch. So I'm going to oversize these holes with a 5/8 inch drill bit. Got those all drilled out. drilling from each end minimizes the tearing of the wood. It gives you a little bit cleaner of a finish. So we're going to take the corner bracket, we're going to put it on, and then we are going to use these carriage bolts. I'm going to put all 4 of the bolts through, and then we will line up the backer plates. Okay, I've got all 4 carriage bolts through. So now we put a backer plate on. And everything gets a nut and a lock washer. So we'll put these on, and then we'll snug them all down using our socket. And we put these on all the corners. All of the joists get one. And then the outside corners, as you can see over here, they have a bigger L bracket. So this is how I do it. I find it's the most efficient way. You definitely want to oversize these holes. If you drill 1/2-inch holes, you're going to have a big pain just getting everything to line up. So just like that, that's all done. Here's a look at the dock with all the hardware on. We got all the corner brackets on, all the joist brackets. We even got the hardware on for the ramp. So this is probably the slowest going part of this entire dock build. It takes a long time to put all that hardware on, but it makes it one really solid unit. And as you can see here, I've also got the floats installed. Here we are now. So floats are all on, everything's framed up. As you can see, we have a border going around this dock. That's called a picture frame. Like I said earlier, that is extra work to do, and it's more of an advanced carpentry skill, but we just did that. You don't have to. You could just lay your deck board straight across. It's a lot easier and a lot less time. So we're going to take this thing, launch it in the water before we put any more deck boards on, because the more boards equals the more weight. So we're going to slide it in, and then we're going to put all the deck boards on and the dock in the water. So we got 4 people. We just pushed it in. It's in the water. We're going to start laying deck boards on there. As you can see, we have the hinges attached here, and we have the ramp that we've been building. So we're going to finish the deck, put the boards on here, attach the ramp, and then we're pretty much good to go. For the deck boards, we're using 1-inch thick deck boards. These are called 5/4. You could use standard 2x6s, and I'm cutting everything with the miter saw to fit. This is what it's looking like so far. We got half of the deck boards on, a little more than half. So we're almost there, and then we're gonna work on the ramp. Finish the entire dock. We've got all the deck boards on. It's completely surfaced. Next, we are gonna take the ladder. We're gonna install this ladder. So this ladder is from Dock Edge. It's the flip-up dock ladder. These are really easy to install, and they're awesome ladders. In the winter, you just flip them off. You don't have to take the whole thing up. The ladder comes in 3 pieces. One is the steps, and then 2 side pieces. There's also a bag of hardware to attach it all together. So to assemble this, we are going to take the ladder, stick it in the hole, and then we have our bolt with a washer. It goes through the side, and then we have another washer and a lock nut, which we put on. I'm going to do the same to this side here. Bolt goes through, ladder goes through, washer, lock nut. And then we are going to tighten this down. 9/16 sockets. Just like that, the ladder is assembled. And then we're going to use some 3-inch leg bolts and go down and screw it onto the dock where we want it. Okay, we've got the dock where we want it. So when installing this, we're using 3-inch leg bolts here, and we're putting them down in. Just make sure that the ladder is square, because this can easily bend in or out. So keep it square, and then put your legs in. Before you put the legs in, make sure you pre-drill. This is going to prevent any cracking of the wood. The ramp and dock are now completely finished. All we have to do is push the dock out, install the ramp, and this is all finished up. Here's a little bit of a closer look just so you can see what it's looking like. So I have another video showing how to make these homemade dock anchors. When I build floating docks, I like to make these because it costs roughly $10. One bag of concrete, 5-gallon bucket, 5-foot piece of rebar, that's all you need. These take about half an hour to make. So I poured these for this dock yesterday. As you can see, I've got one here that I just removed from the bucket. It's really nice. So I'm gonna cut this one open and show you guys what it looks like. Okay, just like that, we've got the anchor. Pretty nice cure. You don't have to take these out of the buckets. You can leave them in the bucket. You can cut the bucket out. I'm just showing you guys what they look like there. I'm gonna post a link for the video on how to make these. It's on my page, so if you want to learn how to make them, it's really easy. I'll post that video link as well. Dock's all done. It's in the water. The anchors are on. This looks really sleek. I'll show you what it is. 5-foot by 8-foot ramp. Again, this was built with all the dock edge hardware. We got the hinge hardware here. That's really sleek. That was incredibly easy to put the ramp on there. Fit together so smooth, no sliding pins in. Those are awesome. This section of the dock is 10-foot wide by 16-foot long. We got the dock edge ladder. Really nice dock, super stable. Here's a couple videos showing the finished dock. Again, this is 10-foot wide, 16-foot long. All the hardware, including the floats and ladder, are from Dock Edge. If you go on the Dock Edge website, they actually have plans that you can follow to build your own dock, which makes it really easy to do. I custom made this dock my own size, and all the wood is pressure treated. 2x6 joists, 5/4 inch deck boards. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. I try to respond to everyone, and then you can follow me on social media for more great content.